Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something quite a few of you have shown interest in. Understanding the Luxembourg Work Visa for 2025.
Yeah, that's right.
We've got the Luxembourg Work Visa Guide 2025 as our single source here. And our mission, well, it's pretty straightforward. Pull out the essential info you'd need if, a career in Luxembourg is potentially on your radar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's maybe unpack this.
Right away, what really stands out is that Luxembourg, given its spot in the EU and its diverse economy, it does offer several routes for skilled people from outside the EU or EEA.
Mm-hmm.
The guide seems clear that being proactive, being well prepared for the application, that's really key.
Absolutely. And the basic idea as it lays out is that if you're not from an EU or EEA country, you generally need specific work authorization.
Right. No big surprise there, but fundamental.
Fundamental, yeah. But here's where it gets a bit more detailed. The guide, while it gives an overview, it sort of hints at different visa categories. Depends on your skills. The job offers specifics. Exactly. And although this guide might not list every single visa type right here, it really emphasizes that getting a solid job offer from an employer in Luxembourg, that's usually requirement number one for most work visa applications.
Employer sponsorship.
That seems to be the thread running through this initial info, yeah.
So it really sounds like you need to do the job search first, get the offer, then think about the visa rather than the other way around.
Pretty much.
Okay. What else does this early part of the guide highlight? Anything noteworthy?
Well, it definitely stresses needing a solid set of documents. Now, the exact list will vary based on the visa category, and that's something you'd need to dig into later, obviously.
Sure.
But you should definitely plan on needing, proof of qualifications, a valid passport, all the details about your employment contract, things like that.
Right. So thorough preparation is going to be vital. Does the guide give any sense, even initially, of how the actual application process works? Your impressions?
The information suggests it's a process involving both you, the applicant, and your future employer.
Okay.
Often, it looks like the employer actually plays a big role in kicking things off with the authorities in Luxembourg.
So it's collaborative.
That aspect is definitely something to keep in mind. The guide probably mentions that the employer needs to show why hiring someone from outside the EU is, well, justified based on the job market needs.
That makes sense. The company has to sort of make a case for you specifically.
Precisely. Your skills, your experience.
Now, even in just this overview, I assume the guide points towards more detailed resources. It wouldn't just leave you hanging, right?
Exactly right.
Okay.
A key thing here is that this guide, it's likely just an introduction, a starting point.
Got it.
For anyone who's serious, you absolutely have to go to the official Luxembourg government websites, the immigration agency sites. That's where the real granular detail will be.
Specific visa types, exact criteria.
Yeah, the full checklist of documents. Details like, are there special visas for highly skilled people, or maybe for transfers within a multinational company? That level of detail.
Okay, so this guide really just sets the stage. It gives you that foundational understanding of what's generally involved. So what does this initial information really boil down to for you if you're listening and thinking about this?
It really means, well, Luxembourg does have work visa options for 2025. But this guide underscores that having that job offer locked down and getting your documents meticulously prepared, those are the absolute non-negotiable starting points.
Right.
And it clearly signals that you must do more digging, more specific research based on your own professional background and the kind of job you're aiming for.
Yeah, you've got to move past this overview and get into the nitty-gritty for your specific situation. So the core message from our deep dive into this Luxembourg Work Visa Guide 2025 seems to be opportunities exist, but a really detailed, targeted investigation into the specific visa categories and requirements. Absolutely essential, based on you.
Exactly. This guide is a valuable first step, no doubt. It outlines the basics and flags those crucial next steps for your research.
Right. And on that note, maybe a final thought for you to chew on. Given how interconnected global economies are, how might these kinds of work visa policies, like Luxembourg's, reflect or maybe even start to influence broader trends in international labor mobility over the next few years?
Interesting question.
Something to think about as you continue your own research journey. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.